Hey there everybody, today I'm going to be showing you guys a bit of a strange collection of mine, that being the Five Nights at Freddy's books. Now, I have collected very certain books over the years, and there's a few of them here that I own that I am not going to show. However, this is just a quick run through of my Five Nights at Freddy's book collection, starting off with the first release, that being Five Nights at Freddy's The Silver Eyes. Now, Scott started publishing the books in, I believe, 2015, and you can see here his co-author was Kira Breed Risley. And the cover art here is just pretty neat looking. I'm not gonna lie, I do like this render of Freddy. However, I do think I like the alternate art a lot better. That being said, I do believe this was one of the original releases of the book. You can see there, 2016, Scott Cawthon, all rights reserved. And yeah, so here it is. And on to the sequel, Five Nights at Freddy's, The Twisted Ones. This book is actually in some pretty decent shape. You can see there it's got just a plain old render of Nightmare. Pretty interesting, pretty good book. I enjoyed it a lot. I know not everyone likes The Twisted Ones. And fun fact, I actually read The Twisted Ones before I read The Silver Eyes. So there you go. And then we have the final of the original trilogy, that being the fourth closet with this grayscale Funtime Freddy on the cover. Once again, Scott and Kira together. And then we get into a few more obscure books. And by obscure, I just mean different. The first one going to be the Logbook. Now, everyone knows about the Logbook simply because of the lore and game theory making it rather popular. This book is somewhat of a play journal. But there you go. You get this nice, almost leather feeling cover with that nice laminate Freddy Fazbear's Pizza logo on it. And then we get into the guidebooks like the Freddy Files. Now, I do have the original version of the Freddy Files somewhere. I know that I went off and brought it to school a lot because me and my buddies would sit there and we would talk about the Freddy Files and the lore that Scott went off and acknowledged that us fans believe. But here is the updated edition from 2018. And before we get any further, I would just like to go ahead and show the updated or the ultimate guide that came out in, I believe, 2022. There we go. We got Freddy Frostbear on there. You can see up here it says the ultimate guide. And it says it always says it's under official inquiry. I do like the fact that it almost feels like like an obsessed fan of the Fazbear Entertainment went off and made it. And then I have an unofficial book called The Big Book of Five Nights at Freddy's. Now, I know a lot of people would be like, why are you giving money to people that are using Scott's franchise to make bank? And, well, that's because the cover art looked cool. I don't know about you, but seeing a big old blew up render of the FNAF 2 home screen with Wither Chica looking like she about to munch on Toy Bonnie's face, that's pretty neat. I don't know about you. But yeah, I thought it looked pretty neat, and I was so excited. I was like, man, that right there is how you do a FNAF cover. And I enjoyed the cover, so I bought it. That being said, a lot of the information in it isn't bad at all. It's just a lot of basic stuff, which, who knows, maybe one day I might need when I'm an old man, when I'm discussing what a Five Nights at Freddy's is with my children, if I ever am lucky enough to have any. All right, now into newer releases. Obviously, I wouldn't put this guy in order, simply because some of the books we're going to take a look at here in just a second, they are all part of the same series, so I kind of figure I should just show them all together. So before we get into that, here is the official coloring book. Now, I have not colored on any of these pages, simply so that way, maybe one day, I don't know, I can go off and just print more of them off. And really, if I wanted to color them, I'd just draw them myself, let's be honest. And then I also bought the official cookbook. This was actually a gift. So big thanks, you know who you are. And I actually like this one a lot because I really love cooking. So yeah, it's a pretty sweet little cookbook. And I'm a big fan of cookbooks. Oh, technical difficulties. That's better. But yeah, so there we go. It's really got a sweet cover on it. I like the fact that it's a hardcover. Make the book last longer, and it makes me happy because it makes it feel like it's worth the money. Now, before we get into the other books, I'm going to go ahead and show you, let's see, like right here, the movie novelization. This was a book that I've been looking at for a little bit before I actually went off and bought it, simply because I did not like the fact that they put my boy Doug in here being pervy, and we have a nice picture on the back of Foxy that I didn't even know was there until today. And then we get a shot of the band on the stage there. Now, let's get into the ones that are all part of the same group. That being said, I bought the Fazbear Frights books, and I absolutely love this series. I have not finished all the books yet, and as such, please do not put spoilers in my comment section. So here we go, we got Into the Pit. I did read this book all the way through. I have a severe crease up in the corner of mine. Just throw that out there. I didn't put that there. One of my buddies went off and put it in his book bag, and apparently it went off and got bent. Not his fault. It's okay. I fixed it. It's kind of hard to tell until you put it into light. And then there's the back. There's not really much on the back of any of these, to be totally honest with you guys. But if you guys want to see it, I will show it to you. Here we have Fetch. Pretty good book. I liked it. I believe Fetch was my favorite of the Fazbear Frights all the way up until I read Step Closer. And then that one became my favorite because, oh my gosh, poor Susie. And then we have Fazbear Frights number 3, 1:35 a.m. I love Ella. She is so adorable. Rip to Delilah. Then we have Step Closer, probably my favorite of the Fazbear Frights books. I really loved this book. The collection of stories that are in it are so sad for absolutely no reason. Rip to Pete. Now we've got Fazbear Frights number 5, Bunny Call, with Ralpho just chilling on the cover there. And then we got number 6, Blackbird. Now Blackbird was a book that was a real drag to get through. I'm not going to lie. I had a hard time finishing this book. It took me like 2 months to finish that book. That being said, while I was not reading it, I was rereading 1:35 a.m. So there's that. And then we have number 7, The Cliffs. I did start reading this one, and then I stopped because life reasons. So there's that. And then we've got number 8, Gumdrop Angel. Very, very different cover here. I really wonder what the context is. A human being made out of candy in a Five Nights at Freddy's story seems pretty strange to me. Sorry guys, I just yawned up a storm there. And then we have number 9, The Puppet Carver, and apparently there's a correlation between these guys here on the cover and the original animatronics. So I guess that one over there on the left would be Susie. This one over here on the right would be Jeremy. And that one right there, we're on the top at, is obviously Gabriel. It's a very interesting correlation. I really wonder what the heck that has to do with it. Probably more puppet lore. At least that's my guess. Then we've got number 10, Friendly Face. I have no idea what is happening at this point. We went from animatronics I recognize to ones I don't get what's going on. I see a cat wearing a human face, and it's kind of sketchy looking, I'm not going to lie. So I wonder what that's about. And then we have number 10, one of the ones that intrigued me the most. Or, no, this is not number 10. This is number 11. prankster. I've heard a lot of really cool things, and I love the background of the cover art there. It reminds me of FNAF 4 with the nightmare animatronics. And I really love that aesthetic. It just reminds me of like a possessed hotel. I don't know what the point is with that, but pretty neat. And then I have the graphic novelizations of the Silver Eyes and its trilogy. So let's go ahead and show off some of these. One thing I will say about the graphic novels, I'm extra disappointed. If they would have at least been as good as their cover art, they would have been decent. Almost said decent vehicles. They would have been decent books. But unfortunately, it only gets worse the further into the book you go. With pictures of William Afton turning out like this. He looks so freaking goofy for no reason. But that is the graphic novel. Whether we like it or not, it's official. It's just a shame that a little more time could not have been invested in it to make it look at least a little better. Alright, and then here we have the Twisted Ones graphic novel. This cover looks amazing.